Attention everyone, Fright Nights is back. The other day, Thorpe Park finally dropped their brand new trailer for their Fright Nights 2025 event. This trailer contained a bunch of hidden details and Easter eggs that you may have missed, so I'm going to go through all of them today. And if you enjoyed this video, you should subscribe. Okay, let's go. The video starts with this effect that Thorpe always loved to use of the camera flying through the O in the logo, and to be fair, it does look really cool and is sort of like a trademark now. Then the video shows us around Lucifer's room, and eventually we see this record player. I managed to find the song that it was playing. It's called Sold My Soul to the Devil by Casey Bill Weldon. It's also cool to mention that Lucifer has his own custom vinyl with the red L obviously standing for Lucifer. I thought that was cool. Then you get this frame. Now this frame's cool because at first glance it just looks like a TV, but all of the VHS tapes above the TV all have their own stuff written on them. I've zoomed in here and you can clearly see that the first one in the line is the 20 Years of Fear cassette tape used in the marketing for Fright Nights 2021. The second one in the line, it says Behind the Fright. I couldn't actually find anything about this other than the behind the scenes of American Horror Story, so it might just be that, but I feel like it's supposed to be an Easter egg that I'm not getting. If you know, please let me know in the comments because I'm probably wrong about this. The other ones are sadly too low quality to be able to tell what they are, so I'll just move on to the next bit. We get a couple more shots around the room and then we finally get a good look at what is on Lucifer's desk. First of all, you can see a tape that says Play Me and has like the Saw red swirl on it. This is obviously a reference to Saw and either is The Ride or more likely the old scare maze Saw Alive, since it is Fright Nights. Then you can also see that there is some blue liquid that is over a Wyval like sort of document. Now Wyval is the social media company that runs survival games, and I believe we'll find out some more info about this blue liquid later on in the video. Also on the desk you can see that Lucifer has a framed photo of Lilith, who I think is technically his wife. She was at Lucifer's lair last year and I just think that's quite cute, even though he is supposed to be like the epitome of all evil, but ignore that. Then also on the table you see some sort of like diagram for something called the Sarpedon Society. Now the Sarpedon Society is the official name for the like Medusa sort of creatures that were there last Fright Nights in the creature campus area, and that green liquid, we find out what that is later in the video, so keep watching. Then finally we get to see what is in the book that Lucifer is writing, and it says, "Sinners assemble, in deadbeat gluttony will take you. Betrayers will tempt you with pride, and survival games will feed the wrath inside you. Stitches will unravel your something," I can't tell what that says. "The crows will whisper stuff in your ear. Creature campus will spark your lust. Purgatory town will smell your greed, and all roads will drag you to my lair. 7 sins, one hell of a night." Now the 7 sins obviously mean the 7 Fright Nights attraction, and I think that piece of writing is actually really cool and not many people would have even seen that. This trailer this year is so detailed and so good. Keep in mind that all of that was only 19 seconds of footage, so wow. After that we move into the core of the trailer, the bit that's actually filmed on Park. First of all, the transition through the eye looks absolutely amazing, and that must have taken ages, so just well done, Kieran. Then we see this girl on Park talking about how she just came off Inferno and how she really liked it. What's cool about this is that if you go back to the frame I was showing you earlier, you can see that Lucifer had a picture of her with an X through it, so he was already hating on her before she even showed up in the video. Then she gets submerged in this like red fog that is supposed to be like Lucifer casting a spell on her, I imagine. And you see that she is visited by all of the scare maze and also the Crows characters. The most interesting one, however, is survival games, because you see the tasers that were used at Compound at Alton Towers, and you also hear that it will be given a toxic spin this year. Then she tries to escape by going through a random door, and she ends up in Lucifer's office, which we now get a better look at some of the stuff that was on his desk. We see the green goo that was teased earlier, and we see that it now says Creature Campus on it, so it will probably have something to do with the storyline of that this year, but we don't really know yet. We can also see the blue goo that was teased like as the Wyval sort of thing earlier is known as Syrex, and because that will have a so-called toxic spin, I imagine that this goo will have like taken over survival games, and we should get a bunch of new really cool scenes. I'm actually probably most excited for survival games as a maze this year, as I'm hoping for some more new theming. Then finally she comes face to face with Lucifer, and we go into the sort of announcement area of the trailer. Most of it was stuff that we already knew, with the scare mazes being the same as last year. However, 2 of the scare zones, Creature Campus which has the new tagline of "Shock to the System." And we also finally get the reveal of the name of the new scare zone, Purgatory Town. And I'm not really sure about like what this is actually going to be. I believe it's probably going to be something in Big Easy Boulevard where you're just talking to actors the whole time. But the sort of background that they used of the cemetery makes me sort of confused as to like whether this is where Death's Doors used to be and it's like set up like a graveyard is, which I think would be cool. Other than that, that is all I've got to say today. All these Easter eggs were amazing to find and I'm so impressed with the new video this year. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Goodbye.